What I'm saying is the first question people are going to be asking right now, I can hear the questions, well, what do I do when that's happening? Because EJ just said, well, there's certain things you can do to actualize, to take advantage of that.
I haven't seen the entire film yet. I have yet to see the entire film. Maybe today's the day. I need to see it at some point. The life of it. There's always one. Just one.
But the point is, it's interesting to wonder about and to concern yourself with, well, what do I do when I'm there? But really, you got to start knowing when you're there and asking the question then, not now.
Or you got to be doing the right things, regardless of the time, regardless of the circumstances, through a lot of times when it's no big deal and it doesn't count. That's the smarter move, I'll tell you. That's what's called the gate of heaven. This guy didn't know when the gate of heaven was going to open. It only opens once every 1,000,000 years. So he stood in front of the gate of heaven. He ended up falling asleep, and he heard a slam, bang, like this. The gate had just shut. Damn, he missed it. It's 1,000,000 years have gone by. He waits again, another 1,000,000 years. He falls asleep. Wham, the gate's shut. Oh my God, I forgot. Once again, I missed it. Third time, he gets smart. He falls asleep, leaning against the gate, so when the gate opens up, he falls in. Now that is actually the method that I recommend and employ for work. You work when it doesn't count, so that when it does count, you're in place. All your ducks are in a row. Everything's working. You're cooking. You're already doing what you should be doing instead of waiting for that moment, that precious moment when you should be doing what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, you do your work all the time rather than just the time when you're being watched by the judges. You never break character. All the time. Whether you're on stage, off stage. Starling had a question. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Starling, check this out. Starling, with 2 R's. I saw you, see, when I'm a dungeon master, I can actually see the entire crowd. I see everybody, not just name tags and all that. I can see where you are, and I can actually see what you're doing throughout the entire map. I will eventually, for my tournament maps, actually have cameras stationed for the DM so the DM can occupy whatever they want. Of course, the DM can also just teleport there.
Right.
So either way, and teleport there invisibly. Just count your, make yourself invisible and teleport in. And just watch these idiots do what they're doing. Stumbling around and breaking things. So, go ahead, keep going with what you're developing your stuff.
Oh, because I finish your thoughts on what you observed when you were watching the map as a DM.
You saw it. That's what I'm saying. I want you to complete that. What we saw, what was going on.
Oh, well, I just
because Starling was up front, aggressing against the enemy. Well, there was no enemy.
I just made the comment that recently Starling had been playing what we call a confident assassin.
Yeah.
If you've seen Russell's Rhapsody, you know what we mean by that.
But actually, I can see the entire spread of people. It's really interesting because what you can do as a dungeon master is you can actually live in person change the game from moment to moment. The dungeon master is capable of actually changing the whole nature of the game, everything, including the look of it. When you're going into those spaces, your avatars are in the same. Yeah, but you yourself are in a different universe. Yes. You're in a shared universe, which is what Earth is also, is a shared universe.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole question of is there anybody else out there? And if they are they in the same world as me? That's one of your more ooky questions.
Yeah, it is. What you really want to ask actually is, do I know the names or numbers of any decent servers? Any decent game servers anywhere, man. I just want to find a decent game server. Then you find Clan LOL game servers and you say, hey, these are cool game servers. So you play on our game servers. You like our game servers. Good. And we help each other learn the games. In a sense, that's what's happening. In a sense.
Yeah, and of course, putting up a sandwich shop is one of the orbs that we have running on our game server, and then there's the Magic for Life, which is an orb running on a game server.
And any of those lineages, each of those is called a lineage, a chain, or a thread. And if you can follow those things, it's fairly easy to follow them. You can follow those things. So you can actually end up in the universe where there is a sandwich shop. You learn how to apportion your time differently based upon necessity, which is our first premise. It's talking about necessity. For instance, the idea of the sandwich shop in Grass Valley is so hot as a work idea. I'm actually thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm actually thinking of raising the money myself to do this because it creates such a powerful necessity to be there and serve those people who come in. There's the answer to your question. And serve the people who are coming in. Now, the people who are coming into that particular sandwich shop are coming into a convocational space, which is actually called a vortex. Or a vortex. The vortices are gathering places that can be used as hubs for higher entities. Now, when you are serving entities, hopefully higher entities, it could also be lower, but they could be hidden, they could be disguised as. You can be fooled, I can be fooled, we all can be fooled. We all can be fooled. So, serving something higher, well, it's, I'm higher, serve me. Or here's that horrible voice, I am higher, serve me. Ooh, no, I don't like that voice. That's a rough voice, but I don't think that's a higher. I am higher, serve me. Ooh, that is a nice, soft, soothing voice. Turns out to be an infernal, demonic creature, but what the hell? It's got a soothing voice. So, I mean, what do you serve? So you serve, the best you can do, actually, is to fulfill your function as best you can, your work function as best you can, and hope to hell that you are serving something which is higher, and so that your service is of value to the higher. Now, if you're thinking of your service as being valuable to yourself, okay, for every single moment that you think about your own benefit, you lose at that moment, you hit the negative button, the minus erase button. So all of the baraka that you get in that moment is erased automatically as you're thinking about your personal benefit. It actually causes the erase button to hit at that moment. So it takes out all, whatever baraka you could possibly be earning at that moment is being eradicated at the same moment by your self-concern. It's called ego.
Your actual self-concern, that's right. And self-concern actually is a function outside of thinking. Thinking just happens to follow it. If you have self-concern operating, you'll tend to have thoughts of self-concern.
You may or may not. You may not even consider that. You may even just look at everything that is around you as something which is there for your benefit.
Right.
And for your exploitation. And every moment that is spent in that kind of space is a space of erasure. It's a space where nothing of any benefit, nothing of any value comes to you. It can't come to you because you've got the erase button on at that moment. So you're not going to be worried about your own personal benefit from all of this activity. You're going to be seeing, who can I help? What can I do? Where can I be of benefit? Where can I be of value? So then you start thinking, well, boy, you start investigating it. Like, okay, I can go to a hospice or a hospital and devote my time to helping those people. But what about the people who are not yet in hospices and hospitals and who don't know that's where they're headed?
Is there a situation where you are absolutely certain through to the end of precisely who or what you're serving in terms of the team they're on?
I'll give you a spooky example of something. Really.